Amerikos with another video for you. Today we're talking about Russian grammar cases. Before we talk about cases, it's important to remind you that nouns in Russian change according to a lot of different aspects. First of all, there's gender, number, case, declension, and animate or inanimate. Now that might sound like a lot, but it's really not so difficult. Today, we're only going to be focusing on case. So forget about that other stuff, that's in a different video. Focus on case. The word for case in Russian is падеж. I'd also like to tell you that in this video, I'm not going to give you a lot of examples of different words and different Russian phrases. The purpose of this video is to make understanding Russian cases simple, so that you know how to think of these Russian cases in English, because really they have some equivalents in English. So first, let's start with the nominative case, or in Russian, именительный падеж. This case basically tells us the subject of the sentence. Nominative in English comes from Latin nomen, or name, and in Russian, именительный падеж, именительный comes from the word имя, or name. You can think of this as the subject case, or the case that the word is in when you look it up in the dictionary. The second case in Russian is the genitive case, or родительный падеж. The genitive case basically expresses where something comes from, where it originates from. So you can think of the genitive case in Russian as the equivalent to English of something. When you say like the color of the camera, you want to use the genitive case because you say of plus a noun. Of plus a noun is genitive case. You can also use genitive case to say from something or from somewhere because it tells you where it originates from. Another use of the genitive case is like English apostrophe s, to say that something belongs to someone or something comes from someone. Next, let's talk about the accusative case, or винительный падеж. The accusative case in Russian is basically the direct object. If you know English grammar, then you know that the direct object is the noun that takes the initial action of the verb. That's right, the noun that receives the initial action of the verb. So, for example, in English, if I say, I gave the dog a ball, ball would be the direct object because ball receives the action first before dog. In Russian, you want to use the accusative case to express this idea. The fourth case we're going to talk about today is the dative case. Дательный падеж. The dative case is very similar to English's indirect object. So, in our example, I gave the dog a ball, dog would be the indirect object and would take the dative case in Russian. However, the dative case in Russian can also be used for a couple other things. Dative case is often used to say towards something or approaching something. Another use of the dative case is to say that something travels along something. But in general, we can think of the dative case as the indirect object case. The fifth case that we want to talk about is the instrumental case, or творительный падеж. The instrumental case tells us how we do something, or using what. Often in English we use the word with to describe this idea. I write something with a pen. In Russian, you need to use the instrumental case to say the instrument that you used. Sometimes in Russian, you don't have to use the word with to express this idea. You can just say the word in the instrumental case and not use the preposition with. It's kind of convenient. Another use for the instrumental case is to say that something is located above or under something. You can also think of the instrumental case as meaning by. For example, this painting was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. In Russian, you would just say Leonardo da Vinci's name in the instrumental case, and this would mean by Leonardo da Vinci. The sixth case and final case that we're going to talk about today is the prepositional case, or sometimes it's called the locative case. In Russian, it's called предложный падеж. Now, prepositional case, locative case, they both make sense because basically this case is used to show where something is located, where something is situated, the position of something. So we use this a lot with prepositions like on, at, in. You can also use the prepositional case to say that you're speaking about something. Those are the 6 Russian grammar cases. Of course, I didn't go into a lot of detail because this video is really for people who are just starting to learn this material. And there are a lot of other uses for these cases, that you'll learn later as you progress in your knowledge of Russian. But for now, for someone who's just starting to learn Russian, it's important to understand how the cases correlate to English grammar. And I hope that this video helped you do that. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, visit my website, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, Chris Americos.